we will discuss about computer generation. So, in this session, we will discuss introduction, brief history of computers, generations of computer, advantage and disadvantages of computer, and what is computer types. So, we will discuss what is computer. So, computer word is derived from computing as the start of modern science that we call computer science. Can we track, can we trace back to a long ago where man still dwelled in caves or in forest and lived in group for protection and survival and harsh element of the earth. Computing becoming more and more complicated. Then the first computing device came in being, that is abacus, invented by Chinese about 500 years ago. So what is computer? Computer is an electronic device. We can enter some input and find the output, and can it is device that can process data and produce output as per a set of instructions called as program and display output that various output devices such as printer, monitor. So what is input and output devices? In business and industry, the primary functions of computer is processing of data. A factory convert raw material into finished products. In the case of raw material are input and finished product are the output. So we discuss brief history of computer. So come to the next topic, generations of computer. In this session we will discuss five type of generation. So first generations computer is inventions of vacuum tubes, invention of transistor, inventions of ICs, developments of microprocessors. So we discuss first generation, second generation, third generation, fourth generation and fifth generation. So first generation is 1946 to 1955. Technology used to be vacuum tubes. Second generation 1955 to 1965 transistors. Third is 1965 to 1975 IC chips, that is integrated circuits. 1976 to 1988 fourth generations used microprocessors and large scale integration. Fifth generation since 1988, that is AI, artificial intelligence. So first is discuss first generations computer. First computers are used to be vacuum tubes for circuits and magnetic drums for memory and were often enormous, taking up entire rooms. First generations computer relied on machines language to perform operation, and they could only solve one problem at a time. So in which included ADVAC, UNIVAC, anyway computers are example of first generation computing devices. IBM 650 was another first generation's computer by IBM Corporation. So now we discuss about what is advantages and disadvantages of first generation. So vacuum tubes were the only electronics components available during those days. Vacuum tubes technology made possible the advent of electronic digital computer. These computers were the fastest calculating device of their time. They could perform computations in milliseconds. Disadvantages: first is too bulky in size, unreliable. Thousands of vacuum tubes that were used emitted large amount of heat and burned out frequently. Air conditioning required, prone to frequent hardware failures. Constant maintenance required, non-portable. So now we comes to second generation, that is 1955 to 1965. There the transistors, a smaller and more reliable successors to the vacuum tubes, was invented 1947. However, computers that used transistors were not produced in quantity until over a decade later. With both the first and second generation computers, the basic components were discrete or separate entity. Today's latest microprocessors contain tens of millions microscopic transistor, first computer of the generation developed by atomic energy industry. So now comes to advantage and disadvantages. Advantages: less expensive and smaller in size, fast in speed, low power consumption and less heat generated. Vacuum tubes technology is very much important, which open the gates of digital world's communication. Disadvantages: maintenance of machine is required, air condition required, frequent maintenance required, commercial production was difficult and costly. So third generation 1965 to 1975, the development of IC, that is integrated circuit, was hallmark of third generation of computer. Transistors were placed of silicon chips called semiconductor, which drastically increase the speed of efficiency of computer. So what is advantages and disadvantages of third generation's computer? Advantages: similar in size, low cost than previous, low power consumption and easy to operate, less computations time, high reliability, multitasking environment, OS per user interaction. Disadvantages: air conditioning required in many cases, highly sophisticated technology required for the manufacturers of IC chips, need complex technology. Next is fourth generation's computer, that 1976 to 88. Use of microprocessors in mid 70s marked the advent of fourth generation computer. Medium to very large IC technology packed about transistors in single chip. Advantages: smaller in size, microprocessors based technology, semiconductor memory, low cost of production, high speed, high reliability. Disadvantages: high sophisticated technology required for manufacturers of LSI chips. Next is fifth generation 1988 or onwards. Fifth generation computer are used to be AI, artificial intelligence, are still in development. Through there are some applications such as voice recognition that are being used today. The use of parallel processing and superconductor is helping to make artificial intelligence reality. Quantum computation and molecular and nanotechnology will radically change the face of computer in year to come. Next one is advantages: program independent, have thinking and analyze by its own, voice recognition and biometric device, self organization and learning. Next we discuss about what is computer types. So computer is three types, basically digital, analog and hybrid, and micro, mini, mainframe and super. Now come to the what is microcomputers. Microcomputer is one of CPU's microprocessors. There are small machines designed for individual users. It can perform tasks such as word processing, desktop publishing, accounting, word processing, spreadsheet and database. Also useful for playing games, listening music, watching movies. Mini computer is mid-size multiprocessing and multi-users computer. Multiprocessing is the process of running multiple programs simultaneously, used in business organization for maintenance of accounts and finance data application. More powerful and compatible with microcomputer, also useful for manufacturing process and scientific research. Mainframe computer. A mainframe computer is large and powerful system with a vast amount of storage and memory space. The word length of mainframe computer is generally 64-bit. They were designed to serve the purpose of centralized computing instead of distributed computing. Also known as enterprise servers, it can perform millions of transactions every day and it's mostly used in government organizations. Supercomputer consists of number of processors that can process variety of jobs in parallel. Today, supercomputers can process billions of instructions per second. It is fastest and most expensive types of computer. Some of major applications of supercomputer and molecular chemistry, nuclear research, weather reports and advanced physics. Major disadvantages of supercomputer is that it generate a large amount of heat during their operations and hence effective cooling required. Types of computer.